Does anyone struggle with perfectionism? Even if you don't think you do, it affects us more than we think it does. And I'm going to tell you 2 truths and 3 lies. The first truth is that we have to remove perfectionism to get started, and more importantly, to finish. If we want to finish something, like Rebecca said, it's better to be done than perfect. And we have to remove that perfectionism. I love starting new goals, but I'll be honest, it's hard for me to finish all of them, and that's because of perfectionism. And if that's the same for you, then you're probably struggling with the same thing. The second truth is that failure is part of the process. Making mistakes, things not working out, failure doesn't define you. It's simply part of the creative process. When I was taking Tony Robbins' business course, he was really strong about having a firm outcome, but a flexible approach. I'm going to try a couple different things. I love Sarah Blakely, the creator of Spanx. Her dad at the dinner table would actually say, "What did you fail at today?" And I just love that. Failure is so crucial when it comes to actually pursuing something. And a lot of times, God can turn anything that feels like a failure into a win. Like my story when I went to Utah, it felt like a failure because, we didn't make any profit on it. But it was such a win because God downloaded something in my spirit that was so important that has affected other people. And so we can't be scared of that failure. I have another story of failure for you because this is a common theme in my life. I started Horatio printing back in 2014. I was so excited. I have 3 months. I'm going to make this business. Oh my gosh, here's the planner. I've got to get my LLC. We got to pick a name. It's all that exciting stuff in the conception of a business. And I finally get my LLC in the mail. I'm so excited. I call my mom. I can't wait. I'm going to go take a picture. Because at the time, I lived on Horatio Street. That's where the name comes from. And so I go outside with my LLC, and I go to put it up to the thing and take that picture, and I realize I spelled Horatio wrong. Y'all, I spelled Horatio wrong. I spelled it with a C. So actually, my business is Horatio Printing, and it's why it's so confusing for people. And it's the truth, and we had to keep it because we already had the Instagram, we already had the website. It was like, this is it, we're Horatio. That's what we are. If I would have let that mistake take me out, we wouldn't be here today. So don't let a little mistake at the start line take you out. God works everything together for good. He cares about the details, and he knew you were going to make the mistake before you did. If I would have let that take me out, I wouldn't be here. And it's easy when we start to dream, and right when we make that mistake, to think, see, this is why you can't start a business. You can't even spell the name. We have that voice that wants to discourage us and stop us from our purpose. But we have to just silence that and remember, nope, I'm going to keep going. This is not about perfectionism. It's about getting done because I'm going to be obedient to the calling on my life and to the dreams I have. So the first lie of perfectionism is quit if it isn't perfect. This one's ingrained in us. We've all grown up learning, if you're not going to do it right, we know this, right? That's why we quit. In John Acuff's book, Finish, which I highly recommend, he says, the first lie of perfectionism tells you about goals is quit if it isn't perfect. The problem with that is perfectionism magnifies your mistakes and minimizes your progress. However, the less people aimed for perfect, the more productive they became. Developing tolerance for imperfection is a key factor in turning chronic starters into chronic consistent finishers. And he actually came up with a name for this. It's called the day after perfect. He would start these 30-day challenges, and guess what the day is where everyone would quit and drop off on the challenge? Day 2. It's the day after perfect. So we start a goal. We're like, I'm doing this Bible study plan. I nailed it. Day 2. I forgot. It's the end of the day. Oh, day 3. I didn't even do it yesterday. I quit, right? It's the day after perfect. I'm going to do that healthy diet. You crush it. Whole30. Next day, I ate a donut. It's over. And it happens. That's the day after perfect. And the reason I'm going through this is because you're going to face this. You're going to face the day after perfect. You're going to go perfect one day, and then you're going to have the day after where you make a mistake. And we have to decide now that I'm not going to let that take me out. I'm going to give myself grace. I'm going to smile and say, I knew this day would come, and I'm ready for it, and I don't care. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep progressing. The second lie of perfectionism is that my goals have to be big, which I do believe in big goals, and that it's now or never. I'm too old. I'm too late. The truth is, goals aren't a sprint. They are a marathon. And here's a crazy thing that kind of goes against what I taught today, which is you're going to be a lot more successful if you cut your dream in half. That might sound kind of weird, but it's so true. When you cut your dream in half, you're setting yourself up for a win and for longer consistency. There's also this funny thing called the planning fallacy, where we think something's going to take a lot less time than it does. No, Macy, you were talking about starting your website templates, and it's like it took longer than I thought, and she could have let that take her out. Like, see, I can't even do it when I thought I was going to do it. But no, she kept working at it. Things are going to take longer than you thought. That's science. Like, there are so many scientific studies that have been done where people assumed it would take it this long, and it took this long. I see this all the time in small business coaching. I see people like, oh, I've started to edit this video or build this website, and it's taking so long. Hear me now. If something is taking you longer than you thought, you are doing something worthwhile. You are doing good work. If God has called you to it, he's called you to work for it. And if something's taking too long or longer than you thought, that is to be expected, 100% expected. So cutting your goal in half is great. Ask yourself a question. What's the worst that could happen if I just cut my goal in half? Remember, Rome wasn't built in a day. So sometimes with that cutting a goal in half and, having those big dreams, we need accountability, or we need someone who's walked down the road before. And so I do want to encourage you, like Pastor JJ said, to get a dream mate, not a teammate, but a dream mate, someone you can share your dreams with and be accountable with. If you are looking at starting a small business or growing a small business, I am offering small business coaching in January. So I'll send an email about that. You can hit me up on DM, and I can set you up with that in January if that's something you're really excited about. So lie number 3 of perfectionism is I can do it all. And yes, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. But here's the other truth. Burnout is real, and it's ready to take you out. Exhaustion is not holy. Rest is holy. God gave us the gift of the Sabbath on purpose. And so I highly encourage you, one of my big dreams in 2020 is to just rest more, to take a real Sabbath, to not work on Sunday, which as a small business owner, it's hard not to want to work all the time because I like what I do. And I feel like if I'm not moving the hamster wheel, it's not going anywhere. But the truth is, God is always working, even when we're not working. So to fight perfectionism, we have to prepare for, number 1, the day after perfect, and number 2, the hiding places. And I love this. John Acuff in his book, he talks about hiding places, aka noble hiding places. And a noble hiding place is an argument we construct to stop us from action. Sometimes they seem noble. So the most dangerous hiding place, you guys want to know what the most dangerous one is? Until. That is the most noble hiding place. I can't start until I know how to do it all. I can't start until I have the perfect dream. I can't start until I have it all figured out. I can't start my business until I fully quit my job. I'm not telling you to fully quit your job and start a new business. There's a side hustle. There's all different ways to look at something. Whatever is that until that makes you want to stop completely, that is your until. I love this example from John's book. He was talking about a woman named Karen. And said, Karen won't start her blog until she's checked in with a copyright lawyer first. She's concerned that her blog will become so successful, someone will steal the content. Do you hear me? Like, sometimes we get so ahead of ourselves that we stop ourselves. And that's why we need a dream mate, someone to say, no, Karen, just write. Don't stop taking action. You need to just write. If that's what you're called to do, start taking action on that. I can't preach until I'm qualified. I can't make a difference yet. I have to wait. So here's what I want you to do. close your eyes, think about your big dream, and answer this question. I can't start blank until what's going to be that noble hiding place that's going to come knocking this year? This year is going to be different. When perfectionism comes knocking, we're going to be ready. We're going to give ourselves grace on the day after perfect, and we're going to keep going.